This is Joshua from Motivao. Welcome to another episode of How's it going, guys? This is Joshua from Motivao Online Instructors. Today we're going to find the minimum length of the crease C using the trigonometric method. This is very fast, so it's going to be nice and simple. Now let's go straight to our diagram. If you've seen the video before this one, which is the ratio method, you'll see this omega and c and nu angles. But for this method, we're only going to need omega, nu, and c. And these equations come from the fact that these triangles are right triangles, so that all of them have a 90-degree angle inside them. So the total sum of their angles have to be pi, or 180 degrees. So that's the reason that omega plus nu has to be equal to 90, or pi over 2, which implies that omega equals pi over 2 minus nu. Now for this one here, these two triangles are the same, so these two angles are exactly the same. Now this sum c plus nu has to be pi because this is a straight line. So that means that c plus 2 nu equals pi. But that implies that c equals pi minus 2 nu. Now I'm going to manipulate this one a little bit. Let's factorize a 2 here. If we factorize a 2, we have pi over 2 minus nu. But we've seen that omega equals pi over 2 minus nu. So we can straight substitute that, and that implies that c equals to 2 omega. Now that implies that the cosine of c equals the cosine of 2 omega. And if you remember your trigonometric identities, cosine of 2 omega equals cosine squared of omega minus sine squared of omega. Now what is cosine of c? Well, don't forget your SOHCAHTOA, right? I think this is universal in every math class you're ever gonna see in your life. You're always gonna find this SOHCAHTOA thing, which means that sine is opposite over hypotenuse, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent is opposite over adjacent. So what is cosine of c? Let's calculate that. We know that cosine of c by SOHCAHTOA, right, is equal to what? Well, adjacent over hypotenuse. The adjacent is 8.5 minus x over the hypotenuse, which is what? It's just x. Now, what this interpret is that cosine of 2 omega equals this, equals 8.5 minus x over x. But like I said, using the double angle formula, this implies that cosine omega squared minus sine omega squared equals this, 8.5 minus x over x. So we need to find cosine omega and sine omega. So omega is this angle right here. Now cosine will be adjacent, that is y, and over hypotenuse, which is c. So this implies y over c squared minus, now sine is opposite over hypotenuse, so it will be x over c squared equal 8.5 minus x over x. But notice that y by Pythagorean theorem is what? Well, Pythagoras says x squared plus y squared equals c squared, so that means that y equals the square root of c squared minus x squared. Over c squared minus x squared over c squared equals 8.5 minus x over x. Okay, now continue in this fashion. Let's make this letter a little bigger. Okay, now this square, they cancel the square, so we have c squared minus x squared divided by c squared minus x squared divided by c squared equals 8.5 minus x over x. They have the same denominator, so these two cancel out. I mean, they add together, right? Because it's a subtraction. So this implies c squared minus 2x squared over c squared equals 8.5 minus x over x. Now this implies, well, two divisions equal, well, we can cross multiply, right? This times this times this. We have x times c squared minus 2x squared equals c squared times 8.5 minus x. Now we distribute and we have c squared x minus 2x cubed equals c squared 8.5 minus c squared x. Now let's isolate c squared. This implies that this c squared x minus c squared x, they're gonna add together. We have 2c squared x minus c squared 8.5 equals 2x cubed. Now we factorize c squared. We have 2x minus 8.5 equals 2x cubed. Now we divide and we have that c squared equals 2x cubed over 2x minus 8.5, which implies that c of x, which is the function that we want to minimize, is the square root, again, 2x cubed divided by 2x minus 8.5. And this is our c. If you want to find how I minimize this c, go to my next video. Thanks again for watching. Have a good day.
Guys, if you were astonished on how clear this was for you, imagine what I can do in a one-to-one session where I can pinpoint your weaknesses and make them stronger, thus making you a smarter version of yourself. Go to motivao.com.
Motivao like instructors. Motivao. Motivao.com. Come on, let's go. Great. Go in my eyeball. Hey, mouse, go in my eyeball. I can't get in.